Hello, hello. What's up? This is the Narcop Live. Welcome to my channel. I am the Narcop Marcus Farrell. You can find me on the Narcop on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can also find me at Marcus for America and Marcus Farrell Live right here on YouTube and Instagram. So today we're going to get into a family. What is it? What reaction that happens when you call a narcissist to their face? What happens when you have the audacity to figure them out? You think you got them figured out, and you might still be with them. Let's go through the things. You might still be with them. You might still be going through the rigmarole with them. You might not have gotten to the discard phase of the relationship yet. You might not have gotten to the place where it's like, I am done with you. I am done with this person. I'll never see this person again. Or even more importantly, you might be at a place where you're starting to think about it's time for us to go, but you know that there's a problem. And then you go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you start watching videos, or you might even go see a therapist, or you might even talk to a friend. And that friend or that therapist or those videos tell you all the signs. And it's real funny because how you see the signs, it always happens, and it's almost like a revelation because you're thinking to yourself the whole period, the whole time you're thinking to yourself, what is wrong with this person? How come everything that I do does not change how this person acts? How come we can never work it out? How come we can't ever get together and just figure it out? Well, here are the top 15 things that will happen when you decide, yo, this person is a narcissist, and you say it to their face, right? And by the way, if listen, well done if you stand up for yourself and you tell a narcissist to their face, yeah, you're a narc. Right now, you have to be careful. I want y'all to be very careful because some of these things are good, some of these things are bad, some of these things are dangerous. So they experience it as an attack and not feedback. And listen, my friends, you well meaning, good human beings, listen, I want y'all to understand something. When a narcissist is confronted, they think that anything that you say about them that's critical is an attack. So instead of saying, you're a narcissist, I want you to work on things, they're taking it as, you're a narcissist, I'm a narcissist, and you done figured me out. You're trying to destroy my world. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to take me out of my game. You're trying to take me out of my position. You're trying to make me feel as if I am lesser than you. See, in order for a narcissist to get called a narcissist and actually say that they're a narcissist, that means something has to happen that doesn't normally happen. That means that they immediately, if they admit that they're a narcissist, that means they have to do something that they're not used to doing, and that's taking accountability. And a narcissist cannot, my friends, a narcissist cannot take accountability whatsoever. They may say that's harsh, or I don't think that's fair. They may need time. They may disagree with the label. That alone does not make them a narcissist. The difference is what happens next. A non-narcissistic person usually can separate the label from the impact. They might say, I don't think I'm a narcissist, but I do want to understand why you feel harmed. That's a major difference. They don't have to love the accusation to care enough about your pain. That's what a normal person will do. But if they're a narcissist, they're likely to experience the label as humiliation or disrespect or loss of control. They may not hear your behavior hurt me. They hear you're trying to lower my status and expose who I am. That's why the reaction can get really extreme. That's why I told y'all to be careful. You touched on the identity of the system. You stepped into the ego's emergency brake, and you gotta watch out for the alarm to go off. So that's one of the first things. The next thing, if you call a narcissist, They will deny it immediately and dismiss the whole conversation. Now, you've already been going through this, right? If you were dealing with a narcissistic person, you realize that they're a narcissist, you already have gone through the major part of them dismissing conversations. You've been dismissed in conversations before. Why did you treat me like that? Why'd you do me like that? What you did hurt me. Could you not have sex with the neighbor? Could you not go behind my back and smear campaign me? Oh, I'm not doing that. You're just in your emotions. You're just doing too much. Men, they'll tell you, fellas, they'll tell you, you're just weak. Ladies, they'll tell you, you're just being emotional. A non-narcissistic person may deny being a narcissist, and honestly, most people would. If somebody called you a narcissist, you might say, "Hold on now, that's a lot." That response is not automatically toxic. People have the right to reject a label, especially a clinical one. That person rejecting the diagnosis, but is still engaging the harm. If they're a narcissist, they're more likely to use the denial to shut down the entire conversation. They may say something like, "You're crazy. Oh, you've been on Instagram. You've been on TikTok. You've been watching the T on MPD or Dr. Ebony or something. You call everybody a narcissist, so you're just trying to be a victim." Now, notice the difference. A healthier person rejects the label but stays with the issue, but a narcissistic person rejects the premise so they can bury the issue. That's the test. That's the difference. Number 3, the third thing that happens when you call a narcissist to their face, a non-narcissistic person might ask, well, first off, they'll flip it and call you the narcissist. That's a big one. A lot of the narcissists do that. If you call a narcissist, a lot of narcissists, most narcissists, especially if they understand the terminology narcissism, they will flip it and call you the narcissist. Now, a non-narcissistic person might ask, "Do you think you played any role in this?" And that could be a fair question depending on the situation. Healthy people can talk about mutual harm and miscommunication and shared responsibility. But my friends, not a narcissist. If they're a narcissist, they often do something different. They flip the whole accusation back to you and no real reflection because they do not reflect on anything. You say, "Your behavior felt narcissistic," and they'll say, "You're the narcissist." Now you're on trial for a case that you filed. The difference is whether they are seeking mutual understanding or trying to reverse the power. A non-narcissistic person might bring up their pain, but they still can acknowledge yours. A narcissistic person uses your flaws to erase theirs. Number 4, when you call a narcissist to their face, they will legitimately attack your credibility instead of addressing the behavior. You're going to notice a trend and a pattern in these things. A non-narcissistic person might say, "I think you're misreading me," or "That's not what I think happened." Again, the disagreement is not narcissism. People can have different memories and perspectives. But if they're a narcissist, they will often stop debating the facts and start attacking you. They may say you're unstable. Of course, they're going to say you're crazy, you're jealous, you're bitter, you're dramatic, you're abusive, and you're sensitive, right? That's different from a disagreement. That's a character assassination. They can't hold conversations organically, family. They can't go out of their way and make sure that they are being at peace with a conversation or even attempt to accept accountability. They are going to attack you and attack your character. It's a character assassination when it comes down to narcissists. So that's the difference. Number 5, they go silent to punish you. A non-narcissistic person may need space after a hard conversation. They can be healthy. Sometimes people say, "I'm overwhelmed. I need a few hours. Let's talk tomorrow." not a silent treatment. They regulate themselves, right? The difference is whether silence has a point of return and repair of intention, right? A healthy space says, I need to calm down so I can talk, right? The punishment silence, which narcissists do to you, say, I'm going to think, not say, think. I'm going to disappear from you until you panic. You better chase me. You better apologize. You better take all responsibility for telling me the truth and hurting my feelings. So I'm going to hurt yours until you apologize to me for something that I did to you. The goal is not peace like a normal person would try to get. Like, let me calm down. Let me become a little bit more peaceful so I can approach this conversation in a decent way. The goal is destruction. The goal is control. See, when a narcissist goes no contact on you, it's not no contact. It's a disappearing act. And the only reason they're doing is to get you in your place so you can maintain control. Number 6, when you call a narcissist to their face, they rage because criticism feels like being put on Front Street. A non-narcissistic person can get angry when they're criticized, and that's human. They can raise their voice, they get defensive, or need time to cool off. The key question is, do they come back later and take ownership and take care and care about the impact that they had on you? If they're a narcissist, the rage often feels disproportionate. Crazy work. They rage. They lose it. Right? They don't act as if they have any version of common sense, right? That's the difference between a narcissist and a non-narcissist. Thank you, everybody in the conversation. I appreciate you, Dr. Ebony. Matter of fact, if you're watching this right here, go to my homegirl, Dr. Ebony's page. She's amazing, beautiful woman, beautiful character, and just got her doctorate, and she knows what she's talking about, and she talks about narcissistic abuse. So please check her out. Again, they're going to rage. They're going to go crazy. They're going to lose their mind, right? So this matters. Narcissistic personality disorder involves fragile self-esteem underneath with a grandiose presentation, right? So criticism can be experienced as humiliation or defeat, right? And that's from Dr. Merritt about NPD. All right. Number 7, they become cold, calm, and perform the reasonable. A non-narcissistic person may stay calm during conflict because they are regulated. This is not a red flag by itself. Some people are just composed. Some people process slowly. Some people just don't raise their voice. But if they're a narcissist, you can't believe it. If they are a narcissist, they become cold and it's calculated. They might be mad, right? But if they cool down and they're just talking real normal, the reason behind that is they want to make you seem like you are crazy. They want to be the calm one. They know they did you dirty. They know they did something to you, but they want to be the person that gets to walk away from the conversation like, see there? See how they act? They may sit there like and say, I'm sorry you feel that way, but they're going to refuse and acknowledge anything they did to you. You're emotional. Your emotions with a narcissist. By the way, I want to say this. When you're emotional with a narcissist, and this is at least why you were in a relationship with a narcissist. I'll talk about this on another day, but if you're not in a relationship with a narcissist, this is an ex-narcissist, you have no reason to get emotional anymore. But if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, all of your emotions are justified. All of your emotions are justified, right? Your actions, you got to make sure you don't do anything illegal to hurt anybody or harm anybody, right? But when it comes down to your emotions and how you feel, the narcissist wants to make you feel bad about your emotions, right? That's important. But when they get cool, when they get calm, this is woman or man or non-gender conforming person, that is because that narcissist wants to have leverage over you. They want to make you out to be crazy. Here's the thing. They have a lack of empathy. So they can be cold. They don't have empathy. They're not. They can be cold because they lack empathy. They're not going to see your rage and your pain and your anger and your emotions. They're not going to see that as, damn, I really messed something up. Man, I really did them. I really messed them over. Man, let me fix it because I don't want that person to feel like that again. That's not what they're going to do. The narcissist is going to be like, you crying over spilled milk. You're crying over spilled milk. Now, the next one, number 8, this is a classic one. And I need everybody to understand this. This is very classic. Y'all going through this. When you call a narcissist to their face, what they're going to do is they're going to rewrite history. A non-narcissistic person might remember things differently. Memory is imperfect. Two people can genuinely experience the same situation in different ways. That doesn't automatically mean they're narcissists. A healthier person can say, I remember that differently. I understand it affected you in a certain way. If they are a narcissist, the story often changes in whatever direction that protects them. So you might have experienced something A, they were right there doing A to you, but when it comes down to B and the output is C, they don't remember a thing. They're going to rewrite history. It did not go that way. Don't believe your lying ass eyes. Suddenly they never loved you. Suddenly you were the problem. Suddenly they're the victim the whole time. Suddenly they admit that the last week didn't happen at all. Suddenly they never went over to that person's house. They didn't spend the night at that house. What are you talking about? Oh, suddenly they don't have a track record. Suddenly they don't have a track record of whatever they did to get you to the point for you to actually say, man, this person might be a narcissist. Whatever they did to make you start looking at social media, you started researching narcissism, whatever they did to get you to that point, they don't remember that. They don't know anything about it. And they will rewrite the history of this same exact experience, knowing damn well, and by the way, they know it's the truth. They know you're telling the truth, but they have to protect their ego. Remember that. Number 9, the classic one. When you call a narcissist, they start a smear campaign. That's right. When you call a narcissist, you figured them out. And by the way, I say these things because most narcissists know that something is wrong with them. If not, they know that they are a narcissist. So they'll start a smear campaign. Why do they need to start a smear campaign? Because they have to control the public narrative so they look good. Now, it sucks because you're busy trying to fix the relationship. Most likely, if you're calling them a narcissist, and if you're still with them and you call them a narcissist, not afterwards, but if you're still with them and you're calling them a narcissist, you want to fix what they got going on. Empath, there's no fixing it. You'll be busy trying to sort out a situation with a narcissist, and the narcissist will be starting a smear campaign to their best friends, the flying monkeys, their family members, and the new supply. You are enemy number 1. You figured them out. So they're going to move hard and fast to make certain that they start talking absolute crap about you. They can't help it, family. So they're going to start that smear campaign. And I want y'all to understand this. If you listen close enough, if you listen to the narcissist close enough, what you'll find out is whatever they did to you, they're not original people. Whatever they did to you, if you want to find out what they did to you, listen to the smear campaign. They're going to be talking about you, but your actions are actually the actions that the narcissist did to you. They can't create a new lie. They won't create a new lie. That narcissistic person will cheat on you, go to your bar, spend the night at somebody else's house, and when you get the story back, you're going to hear exactly what the narcissist did to you, and you're like, wait a minute, what? And here's the bad part about it. When they start that smear campaign, if you try to defend yourself, you're going to probably end up looking more guilty. So what do you do about a smear campaign, family? What do you do about a smear campaign? You don't respond to it. A non-narcissistic person might vent to a friend about being called out. That's normal. People seek support. They may say, I'm hurt. I don't think that's fair. That alone is not narcissism. If they were a narcissist, they may control the narrative before you get an opportunity, and they're going to talk to everybody about it. Number 10. This is the one that most of y'all have gone through. If you're lucky enough. Like if your narcissist is not, I think malignant narcissists probably do this a lot. Covert narcissists don't do this, but malignant narcissists, I think they do it a lot because they just have a certain grandioseness about, and grandiose narcissists, of course. But if you call a narcissist, sometimes they will fake accountability. See, a non-narcissistic person can apologize imperfectly. They may stumble. They may not have the perfect language. They may say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I hurt you that much. But over time, they try to change. That's the key. Over time, they try to change. It may take them time, but they're trying to change. If they're a narcissist, the apology might arrive fast, immediately, dramatic, and empty. They say all the right things to you. I know I hurt you. I've been working on myself. I've been going to therapy. I finally understand. I never meant to lose you. Let me tell you something. I personally have gone through one of these, and most of the narcissistic people will probably say something like that. They're never going to be real about it. It sounds great. It sounds beautiful, but you got to watch their behavior and understand something. A person with narcissistic personality disorder, they need $400,000 worth of therapy. They need to be consistently thinking about whether or not they're doing something narcissistic all day long. Their ever existence, every movement that they make throughout the day. They're gonna wake up in the morning time and cook breakfast and think to themselves, am I being a narcissist right now? They're gonna brush their teeth. Am I being a narcissist right now? They're gonna be driving to work. Am I being a narcissist right now? Every time they talk to you, they're gonna go out of their way and say and think to themselves, that's the only way that you can deal with narcissists, because they have to always constantly check themselves. Do you know how hard that is? Self-aware narcissists that are not toxic is such a rarity, because the amount of work that a narcissist has to put in to not act like a narcissist towards you. They're always going to be a narcissist. That's not going to change. There has not been a magic button yet to create people who are narcissistic and make them unnarcissistic. And there's even smaller amount of people that actually will admit that they're a narcissist in the first place and they need to work on it. That's why when you see Lee Hammock, that's why when you see some of these content creators, they're rarity. They get popular because if you are admitting that you are a narcissist, you have to do work on an hourly basis. So what does that mean? Your narcissist is not that person. And your narcissist is not going to take accountability for anything. So here's the test for the narcissist if you want to know. Did they stop the behavior? Did they tell the truth when they were lying to benefit them? Do they respect the boundary when they do not like it? Do they repair without demanding applause? Do they change when nobody is watching? Do they change when nobody is watching? And do they repair? Do they try to fix it without you having to basically kiss their butt and make them feel good about themselves? Look at me. Look at me. I apologize. And you don't have to give them a cookie. If you don't have to give them a cookie, that's the only way that you really know that they're really trying to change. And by the way, family, it's not your narcissist. Your narcissist is not going to be accountable to you. They're going to fake accountability 99.9% of the time. Number 11, if you call a narcissist to their face, they're going to weaponize therapy language. I always say this. Nobody is more spiritual. Dr. Ebony can attest to this. Nobody is more spiritual. Nobody is more clinical. Nobody knows more about healing terms than people who have been getting accused of being a narcissist and a narcissistic person, bro. You don't even talk like they be talking. A non-narcissistic person might use therapy language because they are genuinely interested in learning how to communicate. That's not bad. Words like boundaries, triggers, trauma, gaslighting, projection, emotional safety can all be useful when they are tied to honest self-reflection. But if they are a narcissist, therapy language can become emotional camouflage. They suddenly say things like, "You're gaslighting me. You're projecting. You're violating my boundaries. You're unsafe. You're attacking my healing. You're triggering my nervous system." And the whole time you're looking at them like him downstairs, like, what? They weaponize therapy language. And all of that language that they use somehow magically never leads to accountability. Never. They use all the terminology, but they can never be accountable. Understand something. Normal people, when they're using language like that, they can be accountable. Like, oh yeah, this was my fault. Some of this was my fault, and here's where I went wrong. That's what a normal person would do. A narcissistic person will never use that language and change a single tactic that they did to you, a single action. They'll never apologize for it. You'll never hear a narcissist say, "I see where I went wrong." They can't do it. Do not argue with these buzzwords, family. Y'all need to track the patterns. When I bring up harm, you direct to my tone. When I ask for accountability, you accuse me of attacking you. When I set a boundary, you punish me. When I ask for honesty, the story always changes. Family, patterns always beat accountability. The number 12 thing, when you call a narcissist to their face, they're trying to hoover you back in. A non-narcissistic person might come back after a conflict because they genuinely miss you and want to repair. That's possible. The difference is whether they return with humility, consistency, and respect for your boundaries. But if they're a narcissist, the return is about control. The return is about supply. The return is about boredom, ego injury, or the new situation not working out. And I need to add something to this. A lot of y'all think the narcissist left you for just one new supply. When they leave you, they've already activated the back burner new supply, the side supply, the new supply, and they got a treasure trove of flying monkeys that can all give them supply after leaving you. So sometimes, family, we'll get into that. We'll get into that part later on. So your narcissist will hoover you. And if you don't know what hoover is, they'll try to suck you back into the relationship. They might text something like, "Hey, stranger," or "I had a dream about you," or "I hope you're okay," or "I finally get it," or "I miss my best friend." Now they're going to spend a little time away from you. They're going to go ghost on you a little while before they try to hoover you back in. But when you call a narcissist to their face, their first thing most likely with you is they're going to either try to escape or one of the things that I mentioned all the way up to this number right here. Number 13, when you call a narcissist to their face, you can leave it on the porch. Thank you. When you call a narcissist to their face, they'll triangulate you with someone else. Non-narcissistic person might move on after a breakup. They might date someone new. They might have friends. They may rebuild. That alone does not mean triangulation. Wody, sit down. Thank you, sir. The difference is intention versus pattern. If they're a narcissist, they might use another person to provoke you, punish you, compete with you, and make you feel replaceable. If you call a narcissist to the face, they will try to triangulate you. And if you don't know what triangulation is, they're trying to bring a third party into the situation to make themselves feel great. Number 14. If you call narcissists to their face, they escalate punishment when they lose control. A non-narcissistic person might be upset when being confronted, but they still recognize the limits. They don't try to destroy you just because you named a possible diagnosis. But if they're a narcissist, especially someone with controlling or abusive patterns, that exposure might lead to escalation. So you got to be careful. They might stalk you, harass you, threaten you, financially punish you, use your kids as leverage, call your job, leak your private information. They'll weaponize your friends. The smear campaign is a part of that. This is where the lie needs to go like serious. This is where we need to make sure that you understand what happens in real time with a narcissist. Because I don't want y'all to hurt yourselves. Narcissistic people can hurt you. You think you might have seen a certain level of abuse from the narcissist, but once you start calling them a narcissist and they know they're a narcissist, you need to watch out. You need to protect yourself. That's the only thing I'm gonna say on this live. Number 15, and this is the last one. If you call a narcissist to their face, they almost never give you the closure that you want. If they know you know that they are, if they know you know that they are narcissistic people, they're not going to give you closure. They'll leave it open infinitely because closure calls for accountability. A non-narcissistic person might not give you the perfect closure, but they can give you something real, some remorse, some honesty, some accountability, some mutual grief. But if they're a narcissist, closure will never come because closure requires truth, and truth threatens their image. So there you go, family. 15 things a narcissist will do. 15 things a narcissist will do if you call them a narcissist to the face. And I also want to add a caveat. Don't call a narcissist in therapy, because you're going to leave with the therapist thinking that you're the narcissist. If you have couples therapy, don't go to couples therapy with narcissists first. Let's just level set there. It's not going to work. It's the worst thing you could do. But more importantly, you're going to leave thinking that you're the narcissist, and the narcissist will have enough ammunition on you using all of those tactics to make you feel as if you've done something wrong. This is the Narc. Please follow, like, share. Email me at thenarcop@gmail.com if you're interested in a one-on-one session. I got a lot more for you. You guys are great. Love you guys. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Follow Marcus Farrell Live and Marcus for America. This has been Marcus, the Narc. Peace.